What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and we have a little bit of detective work to do in this video regarding Hogwarts Legacy. So, many months ago, I made a video talking about the first two potential characters in Hogwarts Legacy. It was also kind of you got to get the map out, you got to get the red threads and connect the dots, but it was very real on Hogwarts Legacy's IMDb page. Back then, this is back many months ago, there were two names on it. There was Julia Farino, and there was Jillian Petrie, and I could be getting those names wrong, but Julia had the names Cassandra Mason and Helen Thistlewood in it. Now, we had an entire video that, we'll leave at the end of this video where I talked about those characters. Now, her name was quickly removed from the cast of Hogwarts Legacy on IMDb. But, we looked at her resume. You could still see all the stuff there, all of that stuff. I think that's very much confirmed. Those were the first two official names that we saw. Jillian could be very likely just a motion capture person, okay? We're going to get into that a little bit in this video. Now, I want to bring it over to one of my followers, Lucifer Morningstar, who sent me this tweet, and this tweet says, and you have to translate it, so it's not perfectly translated to English. It comes from, it's originally French. The name of one of the characters in Hogwarts Legacy, the Legacy of Hogwarts, so they kind of add the name there, has just been unveiled by IMDb. Percy Baker, a character voiced in the original version by Kayshawn Ferguson. What do you expect from this game? And then they link the Harry Potter fandom. So a little bit weird how the wording is basically this Keyshawn, and I don't know if I'm saying that name right, to be honest with you, but this person is voicing Percy Baker. So Percy Baker is the character name in the game. Now, here's the deal. He sent this to me yesterday in terms of when I'm recording it. When I checked IMDb, the name's gone. The name is no longer there. I can't find this voice actor online at all. They do have an IMDb page, but it is literally empty. And I guess it's about as inactive as you can possibly get. There's no picture, there's no metrics, there's no credits to what they've done, literally nothing. So honestly, I don't even know if it's the right person. And that's, again, because IMDb scrubbed the name. So I guess, if you want to be a hater, if you want to call me out, you could say this entire thing was made up. There's really no way of proving you wrong. However, I'm going to believe that at the time that this tweet was posted, there was a person's name, and they had underneath them, just like Julia, they had the person that they're voicing being Percy Baker, okay? So that, and we'll talk about, who that name could be in a little bit. However, this got me thinking, actually it got me searching. Let's go to IMDb. So I did. And what's funny, and again, we knew Julia has been removed. She's been cast astray into the dumpster. But if you look at Top Cast now, there's actually a new name there. And I don't know when this name was added. I don't know anything about this person. But there's Julian. So she's still there. She never, Jillian, however you want to say her name, she's never been moved. So props to her. But now you have Demetrius Daniels. And he's been a couple things in the past. Now, again, neither of these two people have credits in terms of who they're actually portraying. Now, if you go to all cast and crew, in fact, I'm doing this on the fly. I just saw this. So it says the cast. It says Jillian Petrie and Demetrius Daniels. Then you see art department, animation department, and additional crew. Now, this gets interesting. So you have Lawrence Kern, who's a motion capture actor, and also various characters. So actually, there's another new person. It's just we don't know who he's playing. You click on his name, and he does say he's filming Hogwarts Legacy right now. You have Catherine Lonsdale, who does not appear anywhere else, and is also not that Julia girl, right? And it says motion capture actor. And then there's Jillian, and it says motion capture. So again, there's a lot of things. I know that, this is literally chaotic. This is like everything's all over the place. I understand that. But basically what we have is this Julia person who was doing those two characters. She's been scrubbed from the internet. Okay, I hope she's okay. I hope all that stuff, by the way, is still happening. But you have her. She's no longer there. You have Jillian, who I think we can safely assume is just doing motion capture. You have this Catherine Lonsdale, who's mentioned nowhere else, but she's doing motion capture. So probably not voicing anybody. You have Lawrence Kern, who is not in the cast, and yet he's a motion capture person and he's various characters. Then you have Demetrius Daniels, who actually doesn't appear as a motion capture. So maybe he actually is doing voices. And then finally, you have this last person, this Kayshawn, who is voicing Percy Baker. So that's kind of the cast. I guess ultimately at this point, we know that there is at least 3 characters, the 2 that Julia is doing and the 1 and Percy, right? So we have 3 characters in all. We have this Lawrence Kern who's voicing additional characters, and we have Demetrius who maybe is just kind of hanging out there. Maybe he broke in and he's just like at the craft services just kind of hanging out, or maybe he's actually doing something, okay? Very exciting. Now, in terms of who Percy Baker could be, I mean, I keep wanting to call him Percy Jackson, which is maybe going to get annoying and maybe going to get confusing as we get closer to the game. I don't know. Do you do something? Well, okay, here's the deal. I would say, this is just speculation, I would argue whoever this Percy Baker person is not a main character. And I would say that, I guess maybe I'm dissing the person who's voicing this character, because I feel like the main character of the game we may have heard before. And that's just an assumption. That's not putting down up-and-coming people, because ultimately, literally, to be an established person anywhere, you had to start somewhere. So hopefully you guys get what I'm saying. But I would argue, and that's not reading into it even all that much, I would argue this Percy person is not the main character. And also, well, I guess one thing to note is, you know, your main character, is this one of the games where you get to kind of make your own name? Is this a game where you have a name, right? I mean, I feel like you're going to be, in fact, I think it's already kind of been confirmed, you can be male or female. So you're not, maybe you'll I mean, well, okay, even in like Mass Effect, like it is Commander Shepard. No matter if you're a girl or a guy, it's Commander Shepard. So maybe you'll have a name that's ambiguous and works with both. Maybe you won't, and maybe you just have an actual name. We'll see. Actually, that kind of lends itself into its own problems that I don't think I've ever discussed in videos, and maybe we can in the future. Kind of just not being like fully in the character. Like you wouldn't be able to develop relationships, I think, as easily with everybody else if your character is kind of like all over the place. That's just a personal opinion. But so I would argue that, I don't know, Percy Baker sounds like somebody who would be a student. And that's again reading into it maybe too far. I mean, I'm sure it could be a teacher, but I don't know. I don't feel like it is. Even with that Julia girl, she was doing like a Helen Thistlewood. That sounds like someone who would very well be in like a Hufflepuff or Ravenclaw kind of thing. Percy, I don't know. Does that sound like a Gryffindor? I don't know. I feel like that's kind of like a nice, like a good name. It kind of radiates that. So maybe that's just like a Gryffindor random student, right? Again, not much you can make from it, but it's definitely interesting. And I think this entire thing, it really is one of those boards where you have to get the red threads and connect the different pictures and theories, because even from the last time I've checked this, and I don't know if anybody else even made a video back in the day, things have changed. One's been removed, one has been added, there's now additional crew, there's somebody who people claim was there in this, Percy Baker, who is no longer there, so everything's all over the place. And ultimately, you can't read too much into it. However, again, like as we get more trailers, as we see gameplay, we're going to learn names. We're going to learn names. We hopefully will maybe learn some names that we're familiar with. And then obviously you have to make up, probably the vast majority of the cast is going to be made up. So, I'm looking forward to learning who they are, learning how they fit, learning their backstories, all that stuff. And, we'll obviously discuss that and make videos about that when it happens. So let me know what you guys think about this entire fiasco in the comments below. If you haven't already, make sure you guys are subscribed, bell icon turned on, leave a like. All of my other social media stuff, my Twitter, Podcast Now 15, my second channel, Podcast Now Plus, is in the description below if you guys want to check it out. We also have a Patreon and YouTube memberships. The join button is next to the subscribe button for YouTube memberships, and Patreon is also in the description, okay? We'd obviously appreciate if you guys support us there. Obviously, you don't have to. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope to see you all on the next Hogwarts Legacy video.